private individual. You'd say, well, the Constitution. No, the Constitution doesn't provide you a right to privacy from me. It provides you a right to privacy from the government. Where's your right to privacy from me? If I want to get in your hair and study everything about you, where is your right to privacy from me? And the fact is, you don't have a constitutional right.
The chairman's question to you, do you need additional legislative authority? You're telling us this morning that you have all the authority you need to get this data that we're talking about.
Well, we have purchased private credit card data. Whether we need more authority to get more data is something I can't answer right now.
Where does the credit card data come from?
It's from a private company, and I'm not sure whether I should say that, and I'm not sure. Let me check with our lawyers, and I'll get you the information on it.
I never thought I'd have to even go down for one deposition like we did in June, or I did. Bud's been with me on both my depositions.
My God, they had seven different lawyers sitting on the opposite side of the table. You think, and some of them came from across the country. It was being videotaped, it was being audio tape, and a court reporter. I mean, that's a little intimidating too and stuff.
The second time in July when I went down, I did break down twice and cried. You know, it's 8 hours of hearing about your deceased daughter. That's a lot. You know, you have to explain. Is she really dead?
Let me say a word to you who are struggling with debt right now. A bad attitude about money got you in debt. Whenever I'm counseling a couple who's having financial difficulties, I'll say, give me your budget now. What's your income, how much you're spending, where you're putting it? And if I don't see tithes and offerings at the top, I'll say, there's your problem right there. You're robbing from God. Oh, we can't afford right now, Pastor. No, you can't afford not to. If you did a miracle, you better put the miracle working God in your budget. I've never led people into that they didn't come back a few months later and say, I don't know how it works, but it does. I don't know how in the world. Well, I give more to God, have less to keep, I wind up with more. That's spiritual mathematics.
Many people we have a really nice rapport with, and we ask them, what's happening? Well, I'm not working and I got laid off. My father died, I didn't have enough money for the burial. There's so many reasons. A lot of people come in here, I need this operation, I had that operation, my mother's sick. So a lot of people without health insurance come in here. And a lot of people without car insurance come in here too. They need that money for that transmission or that engine or that whatever. But basically it's food, rent, and a bit of entertainment. Just survival. They're having a hell of a time.
The United States government has been collecting data for more than a century on how families spend their money. So I got someone to do all the statistics for me who was in the government, who was very cooperative, and we matched mom, dad, and 2 kids in the early 1970s with mom, dad, and 2 kids today. Median earner. Today's family actually has less money to cover food, clothing, insurance, games, toys, entertainment, everything you want to cover. The real point is the basics are driving families right to the edge. What it costs to have a house, to have health insurance, to have child care, to have 2 cars so that you can both get to work. And you know, I run into some very smart people in our Congress, and I ask the question, so what's the long-term plan here? What happens when the bills come due? What do the grand thinkers have in mind here? And all I ever get is this sort of blank half smile.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, George Walker Bush.
In America's ideal of freedom, citizens find the dignity and security of economic independence. Instead of laboring on the edge of subsistence, we will build an ownership society to give every American a stake in the promise and future of our country.
Well, I've been working at Lookout Mountain Police Department for quite a few years, and then I decided to join the military and be an MP because I figured that would help my career, you know. And of course, after September 11th, that's all my career was the military. And right before I got deployed overseas, I got married, and we had a kid.
We knew it was going to be a boy.
Yeah, we found out before I went overseas. I wanted to know in case anything happened. I was on continuous orders for 23 months. You know, that's not normal for a guard unit. Usually it's only 6 months at a time. So, yeah, we were prepared for 6 months, but not 23 straight months. My job didn't help me out or anything like that, you know, like a lot of law enforcement agencies do. They make up the difference in the pay, you know, to help out their officers, but they didn't really do anything for that.
When you've got 3 different people you're having to support and then trying to pay bills and pay off credit cards at the same time, it's very hard. He was over in Iraq, and I called him and told him, we can't make a truck payment, a trailer payment, pay bills, pay the rest of the gas bills, and buy groceries. So we can't do all of that. I said, because there's just not enough money. And I just told him, I said, looks like the only way out is to file bankruptcy.
You know, this is one of the reasons the credit industry wants to change the bankruptcy bill, because it is the only single way that people can stop the collection. They say, that's it. I'm in bankruptcy, you can have all of my assets, but then it has to stop. If you can get rid of those bankruptcy laws, then it never has to stop. You can keep calling those people and collecting from them until they die.
In recent years, too many people have abused the bankruptcy laws. They walked away from debts even when they had the ability to repay them. This has made credit less affordable and less accessible, especially for low-income workers who already face financial obstacles.
Chair asks the House come to order so that we may continue and conclude debate.
This bill severely hurts a middle-class citizen's ability to get a second chance.
Without objection.
It's morally bankrupt. It puts credit card companies ahead of children.
Bill does not accommodate the 50 million uninsured Americans forced into bankruptcy by health care costs.
This bill puts credit card companies ahead of children and does not protect disabled veterans from creditors.
This bill does nothing to protect our heroic reservists and guards who are fighting for us every day.
Gentleman from Florida.
Thank you.
Because the Republicans have sold out to the credit card companies.
Without objection.
And they are hurting
Gentleman from Florida.
American families.
Without objection.
Speaker.
Slap in the face. Yeah, that was real hard on me. Real hard. That just kind of, I don't know, I didn't really care after that. Didn't really want to do anything. So, but I knew I had a job to do, so I did it and come home.